Hello and welcome to today's class. Today, we're going to discuss about collaborative innovation. So this is lesson number 6, and we're going to discuss about collaborative innovation. So we start with the definition of what is collaborative innovation. So we have innovation in the epicenter, and we have all these parameters around it, which has to do with creation, implementation, putting in practice, something new that we wanted to discover and, of course, to use, is significantly improved. We have something maybe that we want to improve it, but in a significant way, product or process, marketing method, organizational method, business practice, workplace organization, and external relations. So we see that collaborative innovation has to do with innovation, as we discussed it now, but also has need to be examined under the umbrella of collaboration and by including all these parameters that we see here in this dashboard. Now, also, a few things about collaborative innovation in terms of its definition. It has to do with new entrepreneurial spaces, which, in terms of collaboration, which has to do with open spaces and big tables. So why this is important? Because if we have an open space office, for example, it is more easy for us to exchange ideas, to come closer to our colleagues, and in that way, ideas generation and innovation can be facilitated more easily. Waiting for serendipity to happen, where unlikely allies are to connect, all aiming to collaborate, and collaborate. And of course, never forget that collaboration is something that has to do with a win-win situation for all the parties involved. But now the next step, of course, is to define a bit what is collaboration. As we said, it is something that has to do with a win-win situation for all the involved parties. So what does it really mean to a business in a collaboration in a business environment? It has to do with sharing a table and occasionally talking. It has to do with participating at some hackathon. It has to do with exchanging favors with some ex-colleagues or your buddies from business school. Collaborative innovation, which is based upon collaboration and, of course, has its eyes in innovation, has to do with business or other organized processes. Members sharing ideas, info, and work. The aim is to jointly innovate to achieve common goals and strong links and high levels of trust. So it involves high levels of trust, because otherwise we are not discussing about collaboration, maybe about cooperation. And the aim is to jointly innovate to achieve common goals. So we have our eyes in innovation, but we never forget that we are collaborating with these people, and the collaboration means trust and common goals. A win-win situation, as we discussed already, for everybody involved. Now, collaborative innovation in a strict business sense involves all practices and processes by which a company co-creates with customers, suppliers, the industry associations, and the like, and internally with itself through cross-functional business processes. So, which is the key takeaway from this slide, is that we have a co-creation. Co-creation is a very strong keyword here, with whom all the stakeholders involved, like customers, suppliers, the industry associations, and all this kind of stuff. And of course, internally by people from inside the organization through a cross-functional business process. Taking one step further, we move forward to the concept of open innovation. For example, the use of both inflows and outflows of knowledge to improve internal innovation. So we have the internal and the external innovation. Since we're discussing about open innovation, we try to find all these paths via which internal and external innovation are communicating, and in a way that internal innovation will be improved via the exchange of knowledge. Companies can not only rely on their internal research, but should buy or license processes or inventions. Additionally, internal inventions not being used should be taken outside through spin-offs or GVs. Which are the benefits now? Reduced cost of research and development, potential improvement in development productivity, potential for viral marketing, incorporation of customers early in the development process, improved market research and customer targeting, and synergies between internal and external innovators. Of course, as everything in business, we have some risks and some challenges that we need to face when we adapt the collaborative innovation. One of these risks and challenges is revealing too much info. So this might, under specific circumstances, might even eradicate our competitive advantage, losing competitive advantage due to revealing intellectual property in the same wavelength, increased complexity of controlling innovation, need to devise a system to properly identify external innovation, and realigning innovation strategies to extend beyond the firm. This is a crucial question. Does openness work? Because, as we discussed already, we need to have an open business, an open office space in order to bring people together and exchange ideas. Also, we discussed that internal and external innovation need to communicate via knowledge sharing in order to improve our internal innovation, for example. So does openness work anyway? We tried to create every feature in the world and said, okay, we can do it. Why should we let a third party do it? As D. Wolf, my space co-founder, said, we should have picked 5 to 10 key features that we totally focused on and let other people innovate on everything else. Okay, so we see these 2 important quotes, which means that, okay, openness is good. We exchange ideas, we exchange knowledge, and we can innovate. This can be used by our R&D in multiple ways. But on the other hand, we need to be very careful because otherwise our sensitive information might be lost, something which will give the competitive advantage probably to our competitors. And here we have a graph which indicates how this openness correlates to developers. Platforms get enormous value from third-party developers. We see here this graph with layer 1, layer 2 in terms of quantity and price. We have a correlation between quantity and price, and we have most firms can only concentrate on most valuable apps, while profits increase when others add to platforms, what we call long tail. You don't need to own this. Okay, so we need to better focus on concentrating more on valuable apps. Now, why platforms beat products? This is another very important question. Consider product innovation alone. Harnessing third-party resources, innovation occurs at a higher combined rate. Even if a platform starts behind, its value will overtake the product leader. Here we see a correlation between the value added and the time. And we see the more time we use, the more value added we gain. Here we have another quote, which is very important. A platform is a system that can be adapted to countless needs and niches that the platform's original developers could not possibly have contemplated. This is something that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of innovators find in the way. They might create a breakthrough innovation or something, an innovation which is very important and will change the game in the industry, but they don't have a clue how things will evolve in the future, how this specific innovation will be manipulated, will be amended or changed, and how this is going to be used by customers, by rivals, by this specific event company. Now, something that has to do with being a platform. The system must provide a useful function or service and allow third-party access. For example, we have here this example with a platform strategy, how digital markets transform business startups and the economy, from Geoff Parker, Marshall Van Alstyne, Sanjay, and Paul Soudary. And we have here examples: the iTunes, get music onto iPod, the SAP, execute ERP systems, Facebook, connect family, friends, and acquaintances, Cisco Smart Grids, capture AC/DC sources, route power, Nike Fuel, motion capture, and social benchmarking. Products have features, platforms have communities. So platforms, when we are discussing about a platform, we're discussing about the communities that participate on these platforms. The products are specific things, specific elements that we want to buy them because they have specific features. So here we have examples of, for example, iTunes is a platform. It has, of course, it gives music onto iPod, but people participate on this platform. The same goes with Facebook, connect family, friends, and acquaintances. The same with all the social media platforms, for example. Here we have the example of American Express. More American Express merchants get more American Express users. More American Express users get more American Express merchants. So since we have merchants that allow users to use the American Express, they get more users in that way. Since we have users that use American Express in order to buy products, these people are getting closer to American Express merchants. The same goes with the Android developers. More Android developers get more Android users, while more Android users get more Android developers. This is a two-way relationship. Now, if you believe in the power of people connecting, embrace the platform. If you convert your product or service to platform, what could you do? This is a very important question for all entrepreneurs. So, in a way, if you do this conversion, then you might need to change your mindset or even your business plan, because you had a product till now, but now you're going to have a platform, or your platform is your product. So you need to change your mindset in terms of how you're going to sell this product/platform now to your new customers, because you might even need to change your niche, your market niche, plus, or you might consider to change your market target segment. Collaborative innovation networks. This is another important point of collaborative innovation. Bring to the table new ways of thinking, diverse perspectives, and people from different backgrounds outside the paradigm that created the problems in order to innovate new solutions. Which are the key features of collaborative innovation networks? Creativity, since we're discussing about innovation, transparency, since we're discussing about collaboration, direct communication, and collaboration, of course. COINS, for example, this is our example now, enhance communications within organizations to avoid gridlocks. The big enabling factor for the existence and development of COINS is the internet, creating a virtual unlimited access to web-based technology. So the internet plays a crucial role in this kind of collaborative innovation. Much lower capital costs and effective borderless exchanges of information. So since we use the internet, we have a borderless exchange of information, which lowers capital cost, and it's even more effective. Collaborative innovation networks also are very important. For example, here we have, in order to see the importance, we're going to take a look at the definition of COINS. What is COINS? Is a cyber team of self-motivated people with a collective vision enabled by the internet to collaborate in achieving a common goal by sharing ideas, information, and work. The effective functioning of the COINS implies 4 steps. So in order to have COINS implemented in an effective way, we need to discuss about 4 steps that we need to take. The first one is to discover, the second one is to measure, the third one is to optimize, and the fourth one is to mirror. We have the digital divide, the cultural barriers, the IP concerns, things that we need to consider when we're using the internet for this kind of collaborative innovation. For example, Project E3 by Daimler Chrysler to increase the efficiency of global procurement and supply operations. And we have technological, of course, barriers, which sometimes we might encounter if we are not at this level of the technology adaptation. Here, I'm going to share with you guys now an exercise which you might want to do in your free time. You are a consultant to a network of United International Business Schools. The network is doing well, growing year after year, but management wants to raise academic standards. You are asked to come up with at least 5 major improvements, focusing on academic level, course variety, teacher profiles, but also student welfare, classroom infrastructure, school locations, etc. You need to be creative, but realistic, and focus on real, known experiences at other business schools. So you might want to do your research online and find out how things work in terms of other business schools and implement it in this exercise. Now, another important part of collaborative innovation is the one which has to do with manufacturing. Let's pick up again the business definition of collaborative innovation. What is collaborative innovation? It has to do with all practices and processes by which a company co-creates with customers, and now we're discussing about all the stakeholders involved, suppliers, industry associations, and the like, and internally with itself through cross-functional business processes. 90% of manufacturing companies are actively pursuing collaborative innovation processes, but few obtain company-wide impact results. Collaborative innovation in manufacturing has to do also with customers. As always in any supply chain management concept, customers are the main drivers, although B2B or B2C markets will imply very different starting points. Of course, this has to do with your strategy in terms of your supply chain, if you have a pull or a push approach, if you are trying to manufacture things and have them waiting for the orders to come, or you want to manufacture when the orders will come. New product development also, this should lead to NPDs, processes whereby there is a relative advantage for the customer and greater profitability for the company. NPD stands, of course, for new product development. Crowdsourcing, which is also very important, obtaining ideas by soliciting contributions from mostly the online community. So you use your online community, as we discussed, for example, via, in this occasion, crowdsourcing platforms, in order to get more ideas. Right now, for most companies, this channel is still at a very initial stage. Not many companies are involved in this kind of obtaining ideas approach. Continuous improvement, as it is called in Japanese, Kaizen, in effect, nothing new under the sun. Just remember Kaizen. Okay, as we have already discussed about Kaizen, is a philosophy that started with Toyota and the lean approach in business. Most companies try to elaborate business processes based on individual, for example, their firm-only variants of collaborative innovation. In a collaborative innovation model, the focus shifts from individual companies to the community of the companies, for example, the market. There are 4 models of collaborative innovation, depending on their level of openness. Model 1 is called Adhoc Model. It has to do with control, concentrated on focal firm, contractual, platform, none, no use of platform, interactions among third parties, none. In practice, collaborations are on a transaction-by-transaction basis, no established policy and standards. The model 2 is hub-and-spoke model. Now, in terms of control, concentrated on focal firm, contractual, same thing, platform, proprietary to firm, standards set by focal firm. So we have the use of platform here. Interactions among third parties, none, no, this kind of interaction. And in practice, there really is a platform, for example, a framework that allows companies to interact. So here we use the platform in other companies to interact and exchange ideas and collaborate. We have the network model. In terms of control, we have concentrated on focal firm, informal, platform proprietary to focal firm. Again, we use a platform. Interactions among third parties, not always the case, but they are possible to be done. In practice, similar to Model 2, but the focal firm now allows third-party companies to interact with each other. So this is the important changing element. Model 4, open platform model. Now here, since it is an open platform model, as you can understand from the terminology, the control is distributed. The platform is shared among network participants. So we have a platform which is shared between the participants of the network. Interaction among third parties, it is possible, not always the case again, but it is possible. And in practice, all companies can interact among themselves within the ecosystem that is generated through this platform that we use. Issues to be taken into account when trying to move from one model to the next is that first, all companies want predictable outcomes and incomes, but innovation thrives on unpredictability. We want to predict the future in order to know where we're moving to, but on the other hand, if we predict the future, then innovation starts to decline, because innovation has to do exactly with unpredictability. We try to focus to understand what's going on in the market, which are our customers' needs, and since we try to fulfill these needs, We need to try to find a new product in order to add value to our customers. This is what innovation is all about. Answering to the customer's needs, so we have a customer-centric approach, plus add value to our customers via our innovation. Governance is complex. We are incorporating more and more third parties in different business climates. Spreading gains is key to creating and maintaining incentives to third parties. Protecting IPR can be a challenge too. Collaborative innovation includes all processes to co-create results internally and with third parties. Coins are self-motivated teams with a collective vision of sharing ideas to achieve a common goal. Key concepts in collaborative innovation are customers and continuous improvement. Evolving from one model to the next, it requires a deep understanding of capacities and limitations. So which is the key takeaway of today's session is the most important of all is that collaborative innovation has to do with collaboration and innovation. So need to involve different parties, sometimes even third parties, but we need to be very careful because sensitive information sometimes comes and gets in the open, and this might put in jeopardy our competitive advantage. Also, about coins, they are self-motivated teams with a collective vision of sharing ideas and in order to achieve a common goal. Why common goal? Because, as we discussed, since we are having a collaborative innovation, we're discussing about a win-win situation for all the involved parties. And it is very important to have in our focus our customers and, of course, the Kaizen approach in our business. Plus, by going from one model to another, we need to understand the capacities that we have and the limitations that might exist. So thank you for today's participating in our today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.